Here are 5 sales techniques you need to absolutely stop immediately with your prospects because they don't work, but what you should do instead. Check it out. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist Podcast. I'm your host, Donald C. Kelly, the Sales Evangelist. I'm so excited for another great episode. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And on this episode, we're going to be talking about some sales techniques that just ain't working. You need to stop doing it and doing them. And some of you are doing them. You've done it today or yesterday, depending on when you listen to this episode. But listen, you just need to park those things down the street and not go back and mess with them. Now, if this is your first time listening to our podcast, this show is designed for sales, B2B sales professionals just like you. We teach you, give you tactics and strategies to help you, 1, build pipeline, or 2, help you accelerate deals through a pipeline faster. On this episode, we're going to talk about this episode is going to fall into both categories because some of these concepts apply to both areas. But let's dive straight in. The first one is the interrogation with BANT. Now, please don't get me wrong. BANT isn't necessarily a bad tool of lead qualification. If you don't know what BANT is, I have another episode that you can check out that will give you more details on that, where I go between BANT and also MEDDIC and MEDPIC and so forth. But find that episode. You can check that out and learn about it. But BANT essentially stands for budget, authority, need, and timing. It's a qualification method or process that we can utilize. Now, here's the issue that we have. Usually, most prospects, since it's a common tool that's utilized to qualify, most prospects know about BANT. Their sales teams using BANT. And because of that, they know what you are trying to do. And oftentimes, BANT can turn into an interrogation session. And it's not necessarily that it's a bad tool. I'll explain this again. But the idea of just doing an interrogation and asking a bunch of questions back to back is not going to help you with your prospect. What you need to do is have an intelligent conversation. And the easiest way to fix this is just understand the situation. What is going on right now? Now, you can, if you use MEDPIC or if you use Challenger or any of these other methods, you can still make those into interrogation. And that's not our focus. Our goal is to have conversations. The way I've done this and work with sales team is to practice in conversation and to listen. Studies have proven the sales rep that talk the sales reps who talk 30 to 40% of the time tend to be the most successful. The buyers, giving you opportunity for your buyers to talk 60 to 70% of the time. This allows for you to listen to what they're going through, what challenges they have, and to best help them. So the best way to fix this problem is to have conversation, do role plays, find out what are some of the issues that they're facing. Do follow-up questions. Follow-up questions tend to give you a lot more insights. And when you listen, they'll tell you, and then you can probe onto some of those things. So you mentioned this. Tell me a little bit more about that. It sounds like there's a story with that part. Why is that part so, out of curiosity, why is that one so important right now? Now, some of those things may be things that could qualify for my BANT. I'm just not going in order of getting the budget, authority, needs, and timing, but I'm getting the information through conversation. And if you want to be a better seller, you should be become more effective at asking questions. When you can ask effective questions, come on, man, money in the bank. The second thing you need to stop doing right away is to also asking for the decision maker. Now, before you get all bent out of shape, you might say, Donald, you told me I need to get to with the right people, sell to the decision maker. And you're absolutely right. You need to. In certain circumstances. I interviewed an executive recently, and one of the things she shared is that some of her people lower than her have buying powers to make certain investments. And when you come on to that person and you say you're talking to them, and she may have commissioned them to go and fix a problem, and they're in charge, they have budget, they have the authority to do the deal. But you assume because they're not the chief marketing officer that this person is only a marketing analyst or a marketing representative or a marketing manager. Since they're not the CMO, they can't make the decisions on this particular solution. And that's where sometimes you come off wrong. You need to make sure, and you insult that person because you're telling them, I don't think you're the person I need to talk to. When can I get connected to a decision maker? That's just, you wouldn't like that. So why would you do that? And it's a dumb thing. I'm just telling you straight up. Don't ask who's the decision maker. Many of the clients we're working with are utilizing committee in their evaluation for solutions like this. What is your internal process? Is this something that you're going to make a decision on by yourself? Or is this something that you're going to incorporate a committee with? Just curious on your process. Now, that's not going to offend anyone. This is a great way to just be able to figure out and get intel as far as what is the process? What are they doing internally? One of the things that one of my friends taught me was this idea. If you were to make a decision about this, would anyone be offended? If you make a decision, go with us and make this investment, would anyone else be offended? Now, this allows for that person to think holistically and to say, you know what, maybe I should bring this person in. Even if they're the decision maker, it just allows for them to say, you know what, I want to bring some of my team members in so that they can be a part of this process and give their feedback as well. But that's another easy way that you can do that. But don't go and ask, who's the decision maker? It's insulting and it's dumb. It doesn't work. And buyers absolutely hate it. Number 3, follow up too soon. Now, I've seen this time and time again. The buyer and you met the other day, but then all of a sudden you're sending 3, 4, 5 emails within 72 hours. Why is this a bad idea? Because you sound desperate, man. It just feels like this is not being persistent. This is being desperate, because here's what's happening in my world as the prospect. I have 6 million other things to do. Even though this is a priority, you got to understand on a day-to-day basis, I'm still trying to take care of my team. I'm still trying to take care of my family. I'm still trying to take care of other work matters and do other meetings. And yes, though this is a priority, it's not the only thing on my plate. And if it was, I would be reaching out to you guaranteed. But just understand, I may not be ready today. I need to research and maybe talk to some other team members and need to get some more intel, or maybe need to review the stuff that you sent over and rewatch the demo or go over the notes so I can be prepared. I need to discuss this with my team and to analyze and see who else they're looking at and what other solutions we have so that we can make a better decision. But what should you do instead? The easiest thing you can do, the first thing that I've recommended, is to be upfront with the buyer as soon as possible. Now, the way I find people make a mistake on this is that they don't get that. They're afraid of having that adult conversation with the prospect, so they don't ask them some of those critical information, and then they just aimlessly follow up. They get off the call and don't have a set appointment, or don't have a clear next step. But what I like to do the last few minutes of that call, just to let the prospect know beforehand, hey, the last few minutes, we're going to determine, we'll identify what are some of the next action steps, and also what else you might need from us. Is that okay? Great. Now you do your call, your disco, and then you can have that last little bit to take care of that. But it's an easy thing to do. But set the stage beforehand so the buyer knows what to expect. And that works time and time again. And then you'll know when to follow up. And if you have a specific time and date, it makes it so much better. Number 4, false urgency. Oh my goodness. This one is so cliche, where it's like the buyer knows what you're doing. Well, it's the end of the month, or we got to make a decision today. The price is going to go up. All of that just pushes the buyers away. What I find when salespeople do that to me, I just go ahead and look up their competition and see what other solutions they have. And usually that person, as being the incumbent, are going to be more willing to work with me and I'm going to have a much better chance to have success working with that person than I am with this other company. So don't make it that annoy people and push them away. But what you can do, however, is just find out why and when they need to make a change by, and then help them with that. But the false urgency is saying, you need to do something today, or you're going to miss out on this deal today. Or I've had someone say, if you don't do it, we don't do it today, I'm going to miss out on a TV. I don't give a rat tail if you're trying to get a TV or trying to get an elephant. It's not none of my business what you're trying to do, or if you're going to win some dumb spiff. It's about what problem that I have. So give them the opportunity, but give the prospect find out from the prospect what challenge why is this such a challenge right now? And then also, when you can have impact on it, figure out, if this is not fixed, what are some of the impacts to you or to your role, not necessarily to the company? How would this impact you? How would you impact you if you were to get this one fixed? So now, with all of that being said, you can go back in and back channel into it. So with that being said, and understanding the importance of this, would it make sense for us to get something fixed in place over the next 3 weeks? Or is this like a 3-month out project? Well, next 3 weeks would be fantastic. Now we have some time frame. They put an urgency on it, and not you imposing something. You got to do it between now and next week. I find that usually the sales reps who are not the greatest sellers are the ones who are doing that, those false urgencies and tension, creating these false tension with the prospect. Number 5, fake conversation at the start of a prospecting outreach call. I can't tell you how much I hate these. I had a sales rep reach out to me the other day, and this is one of the ones that I found myself on the other side of the line, where they're like, "Hey Donald, how are you doing today? How is South Florida?" And I'm like, "Bro, I don't even know who you are. Why are you calling me?" There are two things that come into your buyer's mind, and the way you need to fix it. They want to know who you are and why you're reaching out to them. So you can always be upfront with them and let them know there's a cold call. I find myself taking more of those just because of the simple fact that sales rep is being upfront, but also I am they're being transparent. But then also I want to find out why they're reaching out to me. If there's something relevant, if they're good and it's relevant, then they got homeboy right there in the palm of their hands, and I'm going to be hooked in listening to it. But if they just reach out, "Hey, Donald, how you doing in West Palm Beach? How do you like South Florida? How the Dolphins?" I'm like, "Bro, go look it up. Go Google it or something. Don't ask me some dumb question. What do you want? I'm not friends with you." That false conversation, don't do that. Much rather to be direct, be transparent, or even to share something relevant with them. But let them know who you are, why you're reaching out to them. This is Donald with Blue Mango Studios. I know that name doesn't probably ring a bell. I'm the one who did XYZ the other day on LinkedIn. We communicate. "Oh, okay. Well, how can I help you?" The reason I'm reaching out now is blank. And we go into explaining that. I give what we call a point of reference, something that they can reference to. And then that allows for the conversation to continue to move forward. There's a bonus one that I want to give you. This one is one that I have seen time and time again. um, that all of us do as sales reps, and it ties closely to this one. But listen, if you'd like to get improvement on your sales game, you're trying to figure out how to become better at sales, and you want to practice it, I think a majority of these things just have to come through repetition, and practice. That's why we created a mastermind. It's our sales mastermind. You can find more information by going to thesalesevangelist.com/mastermind, thesalesevangelist.com/mastermind. It's 90 days of us practicing. Each week, we meet together, small groups, and we practice. We help with overcoming objections, tackling some of the challenges that you may be facing, or helping you to be able to find better ways of reaching to your prospect. It's tough these days. And if you want to get help, go to thesalesevangelist.com/mastermind, our 90 days group. We would love to have you join us. But the final one that I want you to be aware of is cold outreach without a value prop. Now, let me give you that one again. Cold outreach without a value prop. And the way this typically works, I find with salespeople, they get a list of prospects. I talked about this in our last episode the other day, but they get a list of prospects and then they just do a blast outreach to that particular list without a rhyme or reason. What I encourage you to do, now it's not to say that you can't do large scale outreach, but have some kind of trigger. And the easiest one, again, you can find if somebody's new to an organization, somebody shares something recently, or if you have any type of proper intent data that you can utilize. But usually if they're new to their position, that allows for you to get some trigger information. You can use AI to find some details about the organization or individual you're reaching out to as well beforehand. But that's one of the easiest things that I would tell you to do to make sure that you're more effective as you're reaching out to your prospect. Now, again, bring something relevant to the table. For example, let's say I'm reaching out to a list of 52 CMOs in a certain industry, and we know they're all new to their role. Well, I know that they're all probably going to go to a certain conference this year or next year. XYZ. Know one of the big challenges that many new CMOs are facing right now in preparation for next year big blankety blank event conference is X. Now, with that, that's going to be relevant to that individual and to their role and to the industry. There's so much information in that, but it's not a huge list, but my list is highly focused that I sound like I'm speaking to one individual on that list. And that's what you really want to look at. And that's what you really want to do. You can go to next level personalization as well, but that's what I give you, as opposed to just reaching out to a blanketed list and just saying, "Hey, my name is so-and-so with XYZ company and want to tell you about our services." That just don't work. Those 5 things plus the bonus one you can take advantage of. If you want to learn about our mastermind, again, go to thesalesevangelist.com/mastermind, thesalesevangelist.com/mastermind. Those 5 things again: interrogation, using tools like BANT, asking for the decision maker to your prospect. Don't do that. You look silly. Following up too soon, being desperate. False urgency, don't work. fake conversation before you give them what you're really reaching out to them for. And our bonus one is doing cold outreach without being relevant. Can't do that if you want to thrive. Listen, as always, I want you to thrive and to be successful in sales. I want you to get the right customers. I want you to close more deals. But most importantly, I want you to raise your level of thinking and go out and do big things. See you on the next one.